Hey guys, and today we'll be reacting, well, not, but anyways, today I will be reacting to the real story behind MLP. If you want to watch it, just go to this guy, Creeps MC Pasta. I probably pronounced that wrong, I don't know. But anyhow, go subscribe. I looked around on his channel, it's actually really good videos, even though you do not need advice from me, because have you seen my cringy stuff?
You all probably know about the new generation of My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. It has, for one reason or another, became an overnight sensation. Whether or not you like the show yourself, you have to admit that its success is impressive. However, it raises a question. Lauren Faust has worked on other popular shows and has been working on her own line of toys, the Galaxy Girls.
I want to look up the Galaxy Girls. I'm sorry, I have to. I'm guessing by the art style that this... I still have no idea what it is, but okay.
Creating the remake of some 80s toy commercial instead of working on her own show ideas. It could be that she's just nostalgic about her child My Little Pony toys or something. But even then, what artist wouldn't rather work on their own ideas? I read this news story a few years ago. It was about 6 girls who all went to the same school and died on the same day, November 7th.
6 girls, Fluttershy. Okay, I know you guys probably already know this, but I'm gonna do it anyhow. Fluttershy, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Twilight, Pinkie Pie. What's the 6th one? Yeah, Rarity. I'm sorry, it's just I always forget the main 6. You guys know I had a phase with My Little Pony. It was a big phase. I had a phase with them, I think, for like at least 3 years. I don't know. I don't know, but let's just continue.
2004. A friend of mine from NC sent me a news article from the small local paper. I forgot about it until I was watching a few episodes of My Little Pony and realized the main characters were surprisingly similar to the girls who died.
Okay, so this is where it gets freaky. I was kind of expecting it to be like scary-ish, kind of, because like, just look at Fluttershy. Dang, Fluttershy, it's just not your day today.
I decided to look for that article again. The paper had either gotten shut down or I'd misremembered the name. So I tried tracking down my old World of Warcraft buddy and asked him for the article.
World of Warcraft. I think that was like a card game. Don't kill me. I don't know.
Turned out he happened to have the file saved on his computer. And I was right. There's a definite connection here. The first girl, Samantha Gales, was obviously the inspiration for Fluttershy. A shy, introverted girl. What her classmates didn't know was that she was constantly abused at home by her mother and stepfather. Her mother conceived her at the age of 15, and she blamed poor Samantha for ruining her life. This made Samantha self-conscious. When her stepfather moved in,
I know it's not the right time to bring this up. I think Samantha could fit Fluttershy. Could you just imagine that? And also, this is sad. Like, I expected it to be scary, not sad.
The neglect worsen.
It's like it makes a
Her
both.
stepfather never liked having to take care of Samantha when her mother was away. So he would lock her in the basement and leave her.
Wait, what? That's like when I would like walk out the door and be like, bye. And you might be like, but Violet, it's not that easy to leave your parents. If you locked me in the basement, I'd be gone.
Sometimes for the whole day.
Holy
Her mother
crap.
tolerated this, and, as she grew, would hit Samantha for talking out of turn. When her half-sister was born, the abuse became considerably worse. She would be starved, forced to sleep outside, and sometimes beaten outright. Because she dressed in shabby clothes and had low self-esteem, she was often picked on by other kids at school. Her only friends were animals that she would rescue, which her family would make her get rid of. She committed suicide by overdosing on Valium. The second, named Janice Walters, was always one of the popular girls. She was rich, smart, beautiful.
I'm pretty sure that one was the one he's talking about right now. I'm pretty sure it's Rarity. If you couldn't guess, pretty sure the one before is Fluttershy. I know I'm stating the obvious. Okay.
And seemed to live the charmed life. However, her parents argued constantly and were really only together for appearances. She was held up to a high standard, which made her a perfectionist. She wanted to be a designer and live in Paris, but her parents wanted her to remain in Carolina and marry a proper man.
Can I just say something? Trust me, I haven't watched My Little Pony in forever because, like, I'm not really a fan of it anymore. It's difficult, but anything else? Isn't there, like, a place called Carantola? Yeah, I think there's, in Carolina. Carantola. Yeah, I don't remember what Carantola is at all or anything. I can't remember what it is.
One of good breeding and high income. For the most part, her parents ignored her. Her parents' only concern was appearing rich and of high social standing. But in reality, her mother married her father because of money, and because he had accumulated so much debt, they were losing money fast. This is what got her interested in fashion initially, since she started making her own fashionable clothes to maintain the appearance of wealth. She died in a car crash when her mother and father got into another argument over money while he was driving. Her neck was snapped on impact, and she died instantly. She was clearly the inspiration for Rarity.
Yes, I was right.
Then there was Alexandra Matthews. Alex was a competitive girl.
Rainbow Dash.
She always sought to be the best, especially at sports, track in particular. Her father always wanted a boy, and since her mother was declared incapable of having another child, he decided to raise her as if she was his son. In the end, though, she loved her mother and father.
Oh, okay.
And was more than happy to play sports with her father. She excelled at them, even. This made her popular, and by the time she was in high school, she was being sought out by athletic scouts from colleges all over the country. This made her try even harder. She had always wanted to compete in the Olympics. However, when she was 15, her mother, who had been told she could never have another child, had a son.
Oh,
After
no.
that, her parents didn't pay very much attention to her, which made her more determined to succeed. She ended up pushing herself so hard at track, she neglected her friends, her grades, and even her personal health.
I knew it.
At one point, she became so desperate, she started taking steroids.
No.
What her and her family didn't know was that she had a mild heart condition that the steroids worsened. She was pushing herself so hard physically as well. She ended up collapsing during a match due to a heart complication. She died in hospital a few days later. In the show, Rainbow Dash seems the most similar.
Yeah, obviously.
The
This is
girl most
seriously
similar
creeping
to
me out.
Applejack, Jamie Sanders, was a farm girl.
What's even more weird, I can see these names fitting the characters.
Just like the character based off her. What the show didn't include was that her farm was run down and her family was always struggling with money. She often worked odd jobs under the table to try help support her family. She had many brothers and sisters, and she was the second, which meant it was up to her and her brother to take care of the young'uns. This meant she didn't have much time to hang out with her friends.
Who else is excited for Pinkie Pies? I don't know why.
Or take any extracurricular activities, or even do her homework on most nights. She had an aunt, whom her family from Manhattan was based off, who kept offering to send money to support her mother and father. But they were proud and always refused. That is, until her father died of a heart attack in 2001. Her mother followed shortly after, having killed herself. They were taken in by their senile grandma, who was incapable of truly taking care of them.
Oh my gosh, that's creepy, because then the grandma... This is also creepy.
Jamie herself oftentimes helped out with other families' yard work to keep her family afloat. She died when she fell into a wood chipper. Pinkie Pie's inspiration probably
Yes.
has the saddest story.
Oh my god, I knew it. I knew she was gonna have the saddest.
Katherine Jackson.
Guys, that's weird. Now I'm spooked out because my real name is Catherine. Okay, it's gonna be creepy.
Was a foster child and moved from home to home. Her birth father killed her mother and himself in a fit of rage when she was 5,
Oh my god.
and she could never quite settle into a good home. Some of the foster families who would take her in were merely interested in the financial support adopting a child would bring in, and would refuse to feed her or clothe her. Even when she was in a nice home with a good family, the old memories still haunted her, breaking her fragile sanity into a million pieces.
This is so sad.
She would have nightmares of her mother screaming and bleeding, and her father screaming for her, claiming to be after her next. By the time she was in high school, she completely snapped. She started to hallucinate and act out in class. Many of the other kids, and even teachers, assumed she was merely hyperactive and was trying to be funny. She would oftentimes paint and draw and write about fascinating things, and dressed in over-the-top clothing. All the while, her condition was getting worse and worse, the voices and images becoming more realistic and more demanding.
This is where it gets creepy.
She died when she jumped off a building, one of the voices having told her she could fly. What makes the last fact even more chilling is that Lauren originally designed Pinkie Pie to be a Pegasus, as seen in her early development sketches. Last, Twilight Sparkle's inspiration
Oh my gosh.
was an A student by the name of Sylvia Little.
You already know.
She was held up to a high standard from a young age. Her older brother was always getting awards for her academic and athletic achievements.
Oh my god.
And she was held up to the same high standard. She ended up neglecting other facets of her life in order to make sure she got the best grades. For a while, this worked. Her parents were proud of her accomplishments and bragged to their friends about having not one genius child, but two. That is, until a local private academy for the gifted started to become interested in her, among several other advanced students. She knew that this would be the best opportunity she could have to prove herself as the perfect child. But the pressure was high. She knew there were limited spots for new students. And she knew there would be a test and an essay required to get in. So she became a little desperate. She studied to the point where she could hardly eat and never sleep. As the test closed in, she wanted to find an essay online to copy.
Oh no.
And during the test, resorted to cheating.
Oh my god.
When she was caught, her parents were horrified. She sank into deep depression and eventually hung herself to save herself the shame of being an imperfect daughter. You might be wondering now why Lauren Faust would be inspired to make a sweet children's show inspired by such depressing events. Perhaps she felt some odd need to give the girls closure, or perhaps to tell their story in any way she could. Think about it. In the show, Fluttershy is able to take care of animals she adores. Rarity is a successful designer with loving parents. Rainbow Dash is in fact a great athlete. Applejack has a successful farm. Pinkie Pie is happy with not a care in the world. And Twilight Sparkle was accepted into an exclusive school.
The Carrot Princess.
Just maybe, she wanted to give the spirits of these girls what they always wanted. And I think they're happy.
Okay, so, I'm still getting chills by this. Okay, guys, well, this was sad, creepy, and also, I believe it, though. I do believe it, because it would take a long time to make, like, little backstories like that, and I believe it, though, so you should go subscribe to this guy later.